The Hunger Games movies have done an amazing job portraying the books in the franchise, but it has happened where some things were removed for various reasons. I've just finished Sunrise on the Reaping, which I loved, and I of course want the movie to be just as amazing. So today, I'll be going over 10 things I think the new Sunrise on the Reaping movie should definitely include. I won't really be focusing on things that are certain to appear like the main plot, but instead we'll focus on themes, things they need to emphasize, scenes, quotes, and much more. If the movie keeps these in, I think it would make it 100% better. Without any further ado, let's get it. Number 1. Hayitch, Burdock, and Astrid. At the start of Sunrise on the Reaping, we can see Hayitch has a close relationship with Burdock Everdeen, Katniss's father. It was revealed that they had been friends for a while and were joking around with each other before the reaping ceremony. Hayitch also went to Astrid, Katniss's mom, before the ceremony to exchange liquor he received for cash. I want these two scenes to be in the movie, along with the one after Hayitch arrives home and throws rocks at them, for multiple reasons. I want to see the scenes before he enters the Hunger Games to first see what young Burdock and Astrid were like. In the original trilogy, Astrid's scenes were limited, and we didn't learn anything about Burdock, so this would give us much-needed backstory in Katniss's heritage. We could also see Burdock's connection to the Covey and how crazy in love Burdock was with Astrid. I want to see the rather dark scene after Hayitch arrived home from the arena because it would show why Astrid didn't think very highly of Hayitch and why Burdock cut ties with Hayitch altogether. It would also give us a good idea on the depression Hayitch was dealing with after losing everything and why he was so messed up in the original trilogy. All in all, seeing Katniss's parents being young and interacting with Hayitch and Lenore could definitely prove to be interesting scenes, and I really hope the movie keeps these parts in. Number 2. Maisys Character Arc. It's pretty much guaranteed that this will be in the movie, but it's really important they get it right. Maisys was one of my favorite characters in this book, and seeing her progression on screen is something they should definitely include. Before the game, she was a snobby town girl and often teased people she thought were inferior to her like Hayitch and Luella. She wasn't liked by many and was described by Hayitch as the meanest girl in town. When she got reaped, it was like something changed. On the train ride to the capital, she stood up to Drusilla and defended Luella McCoy to everyone's surprise. In training, she gained respect from Amber and the other newcomers by making their tokens from home beautiful instead of learning useful skills to prepare her for the arena. Her no-nonsense and sassy attitude continued to impress me in the days leading up to the Hunger Games, whether it be the interviews or not even caring if the capital saw her outright defiance. In the games, her alliance to Hayitch was something I loved, and it was cool to see how they went from hating each other to considering each other siblings. She saved his life and they protected each other even though they didn't have much reason to. Through Maisys, I'd also like to see the origins of the Mockingjay pin, why Tam Amber gave it to Maisys, and how it made its way down to Match. I think that would be really interesting. Maisys' character arc was truly something I admired, and I hope they emphasize it in the movie. Number 3. The tributes near retaliation. While training for the Hunger Games, Hayitch is in line for knife throwing when he is struck by a career named Panache. After this incident, many tributes picked up knives to return to the basket, but while doing this, they glanced at each other, realizing the damage they could cause if they went on a rampage against the Peacekeepers. They didn't, though, and Virginia turned to Hayitch afterwards, saying, "We could have taken them." This then prompted Plutarch to say, "The question is, why didn't you?" I really enjoyed the scene because it shows the complete and utter control the capital has over the districts. It shows how the capital used propaganda to completely manipulate the tributes and district citizens alike. Plutarch then pressed on, asking why exactly the districts submitted to it all and allowed the capital to treat them like this. After Maisys and Hayitch couldn't give a clear answer, he backed off. Seeing this scene would be sweet, as we could see that Plutarch was planning a rebellion all along and was never really on the side of the capital. This scene would also add tension, with Panache striking him and the tributes almost attacking. That would definitely add to the excitement of the movie. We could see Plutarch, the master of propaganda, in action, something we definitely need in the Sunrise movie. We could also see a rare moment of unity within the tributes, as at this moment they all knew who the real enemy was, just like in the 75th Games. Number 4. Emphasis on Wyus and Mags' mentor roles. Wyus and Mags played an important role in Hayitch winning the Quarter Quell being his mentors, which was someone who coached and promoted them in their time in the capital. I know of course that they will appear in the movie, but I'd really like the film to emphasize the impact they had on Hayitch. Let's start with Wyus. Initially, Hayitch disliked that the capital gave her District 12 to mentor because she didn't shed an ounce of blood in the arena and therefore wasn't sure how he thought about her. She did eventually grow on him though and help him a lot. She was kind, offered up many tips and tricks, and did her best to coach him for the interviews. Her song was something Hayitch frequently used in the arena and gave him a plan on how to survive. She also encouraged him, saying, "The arena is just a machine, really. A killing machine. It's possible to outsmart it." She provided invaluable support in cutting the power so BD could talk to Hayitch, something that's often overlooked. It's safe to say without Wyus, Hayitch very well could not have survived the arena. On the other hand, we have Mags, someone Hayitch loved and someone who constantly comforted him and made him feel better. Although she didn't really help him with the plot to destroy the arena, she did help him considerably with his interviews and probably gained him many sponsors. She knew what she was talking about when it came to surviving the Hunger Games, having mentored many tributes to victory before. All in all, I hope Wyus and Mags get a decent amount of screen time in the movie. Their contribution to Hayitch's cause is like no other. Number 5. The formation of the newcomers. A big part of Sunrise on the Reaping was the seemingly impossible alliances formed. Districts 1, 2, 4, and 5 formed the career pack of 16 tributes, and the newcomers consisted of every tribute in Districts 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, making a whopping 32 tribute alliance. This was really interesting for me because historically the careers dominated every game, so it's cool to see a different, more diverse alliance to counter the careers. I want the film to keep this in and emphasize it for many reasons. First, I really hope they show many tributes, not just the main characters in the career pack. In the 74th games, with the exception of Foxface, Thresh, and Rue, this is basically what we got. I want the film to show many of the 48 tributes and emphasize their good and bad qualities and what makes them unique. This is a great opportunity for the film to develop more minor characters like Welly, Virginia, and Hall. I feel like it would allow the audience to feel more attached to the tributes entering the games instead of just filling the arena with random people. Second, I want to see the actual legitimate formation of the newcomers in training. It'd be really cool to see Amper asking the other tributes to ally with him, and District 9's refusal to join the career pack. It would also be cool to see Maisys helping out the other tributes with their tokens. Really, it's all about character development and allowing the audience to build connections with the tributes. I know the movie won't be able to keep all of this in, but I just truly hope they show us more minor characters in the Newcomer Alliance and how they are good characters too. Number 6. Hayitch's interview. In the Battle Songbirds and Snakes film, we were robbed of the chance to see Lucy Gray's interviews or literally any other character's interviews. I really hope the film includes some tribute interviews for character development like I mentioned before, but I hope they give us the full, or mostly full scene of Hayitch's amazing interview. First off, I think he did great. I think the theme of Rascal fit him perfectly, and he played the part well. I loved how he poked fun at the game makers, and even the usually chill peacekeepers back in 12, and how he made the audience laugh in his time on stage. We also definitely need his iconic quote, "Well, they'll still be 100% stupid as usual, so I figured that my odds will be roughly the same." I'm also curious to see the true effect Hayitch had on the crowd. He received gifts on a whopping 6 different occasions, although one, the ice cream, was intended for Welly, and another was the milk from Snow. Still, the sheer amount of food, and even juice he received in the arena was surprising, at least to me, which proved he probably earned a lot of sponsors, many of which were courtesy of his interview. I think his interview is a scene the film must include. It shows how he likely earned so many sponsors, and holds amazing Hayitch lines I can't wait to see on screen. Number 7. The beautiful brutalness of the arena. This is obviously something that will be included, but I really hope to emphasize and show the true horrible beauty of it. The meadow and woods will be pretty cool on screen, but most of all I hope to emphasize 2 things: the Mitchs and the volcano explosion. Let's start with the Mitchs. Mitchs appear frequently in this arena, as said by Snow himself, and I hope they have enough time to show most of them. The one I'm most excited about is the Mitch described as a cross between a porcupine and a bear that attacked Buck, Shikori, and Hall. This behemoth of a creature would honestly be really cool on screen, and I think it's Suzanne's best creation of a Mitch yet. For the volcano, I think the movie crew should seize the idea of turning this volcano eruption into a cinematic masterpiece. The volcano killed 12 tributes and inflicted chemical burns on anything it came in contact with, and was the cause of Hayitch's worst night in the arena. The 75th Hunger Games arena design was one of my favorite parts about catching fire, and very creative on Suzanne's part, so I hope the Sunrise movie makes the 50th arena great. Number 8. Hayitch vs. Silka. The importance of this scene is unmatched. First, this would be the most action-packed scene of the whole movie. The true hand-on-hand axe combat would be interesting to see on screen, and the battle seemed to last on for quite a bit as both sides of the fight were almost equally skilled. It would also be cool to see Silka shout, "I will be the one to honor the capital," just before the fight started. I feel like it could mirror Katniss and Peeta versus Kato. We're not treated to much true hand-to-hand duels in the Hunger Games, and I feel like this one would be epic considering the stakes. The end of the fight, when Silka throws the axe, is almost like the climax of the story. Hayitch's win was not fair, but neither was his reaping. He makes a final attempt to bomb the arena, and this, along with his attempts to blow up the arena, were why Snow punished him. I would also love to see the scene flick between shots of the capital, Lenore and Hayitch's family, and frankly, all of Panem. We could see shots of different districts watching the fight, and hopefully even District 1. What's it like there when they're viewing this? Are they yelling war cries and loudly cheering on Silka, or are they quiet, not even daring to breathe? We didn't see District 1 in any of the other movies, so this is a good chance. All in all, I hope we at least get a 2 to 3 minute duel of Hayitch and Silka. I love seeing Career's mindset. I love how Hayitch was filled with rage at Silka for her eliminating Welly. Although gory, this duel is a must-see. Number 9. Hayitch watching the recap of his games. This scene in the book was without a doubt my favorite, and it wasn't even really close. After Haymitch is crowned victor, he has to attend what is called the Victor's Ceremony. While there, he sits down to watch an exact recap of his Hunger Games with Caesar Flickerman, except they aren't an exact recap or really accurate at all. The ride at the Reaping is cut out completely. The chariot rides appear flawless. In the interviews, the careers are portrayed as smarter and the newcomers a bit of a mess. Even the actual Hunger Games themselves are mixed up. Timelines are twisted to make Haymitch look selfish. Cards were stacked to make Haymitch look like he was never allied with the newcomers. His arena plot is non-existent. But here's the big thing. Nobody cared. Sure, Haymitch wanted to shout out what really happened, but what good would that do? This is what the Capital and Game Makers chose to show to Panem, and the only one who knew what really happened was Haymitch. I want them to show this because to me this is the ultimate act of propaganda. I think this is Snow's cruelest act to Haymitch because it gave Haymitch no one to turn to, and he was now publicly viewed as something he was not. Since the Hunger Games is based around propaganda, I really hope they include this scene. And finally, number 10, a short epilogue scene. The Hunger Games movies have done a decent job including the epilogues, but the Sunrise on the Reaping epilogue was one of my favorites. It was only 2 pages long, but I think that's all it needed to be. Seeing a young Katniss would be amazing, especially little snippets of her entering the Hob alone and trading for the first time. It would also be cool to see bits of Haymitch's perspective throughout the war and afterwards, when he raised geese with Katniss and Peeta. The Meadow would likely make a reappearance, and we could even see Katniss and Peeta's kids, possibly a little older. And of course, we could see the makings of the book and how Haymitch let all his stories out to tell Katniss and Peeta. This short little epilogue scene doesn't need to be that long, I just hope they include something. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this analysis on the 10 things I think the Sunrise on the Reaping movie should include the most. Consider subscribing if you like the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.